Well, Mission Church, Happy New Year and welcome to Mission Church Online. We take this intentional Sunday off from gathering together at 82 Stratford Drive like we normally do as a big thank you to the over 500 of you that volunteer on many of our teams. There's this saying, America, it runs on Duncan. Well, here at Mission Church, it runs on you, the volunteers. And so my prayer and hope for those of you who are experiencing church online together is that you would feel a sense of rest as we recenter and look forward to a new year of helping people find and follow Christ. And so I wanted to read this short passage of scripture just as we prepare to worship and to encourage you. It's from Ephesians chapter 3. It says this, I pray that out of his glorious riches, he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the Lord's holy people to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. And I love this. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we can ask or imagine, according to his power that's at work in us. To him be the glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. And so as we begin a new year, the question isn't, is there more on the mind of God? Well, there's more. There's more he has for you this year. The question is, will you and I each make room for what he wants to do? Mission Church, welcome to Church Online.
Do whatever you want to, whatever you want to. Here is where I lay it down. You are all I'm chasing now. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. Here is where I lay it down. You are all I'm chasing now. This is my surrender. This is my surrender.
Hey, production team, just wanted to send a quick thank you from me to you guys and just say thanks for all that you do. Appreciate you and all that you bring to our weekend gathering.
Thank you so much to my hospitality team, both them serving on a Sunday morning and my midweek team. We really set the table to help people find and follow Christ. So thank you so much.
To the Connections team, thank you so much for what you do to help wow our guests with welcome. From the lobby to the outside doors, to Guest Central, to tours, thank you so much for giving of your time to make our new guests feel seen, heard, respected.
Mission Kids team, when I think of you, the first thing that comes to mind is the joy and the energy that you bring each time you serve. Thank you for saying yes to volunteering and being on our team. Thank you for being generous with your time, and thank you for choosing to pour into the lives of our kids. Every time you serve, God is working through you to help the next generation of our church find and follow Christ. And we are so grateful for you.
To all my amazing Lift volunteers, I just can't thank you guys enough for helping the students of Mission Church lift up, level up, and light up. I couldn't do it without you, wouldn't want to do it without you guys, so thank you for showing up each week with a smile on your face and for pouring all the effort and energy you guys do into the lives of these students and their families. We love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
On behalf of the Mission Families team, I want to say thank you. From our kids volunteers, our middle school volunteers, and our high school volunteers, thank you. Just a few weeks ago, we gave you a gift, and attached to that gift was this card. On the back side of this card, we wrote a verse out for you, and I want to read it aloud. It's out of Philippians 1. It says, "I thank my God every time I remember you. In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now." Paul is filled with joy, and as am I. And I just want to say thank you for your continued partnership in helping kids and students and families find and follow Christ. We are praying for you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your continued prayers. And thank you for your participation in helping families find and follow Christ.
A big thank you to the worship team, but really the entire creative team. Thank you guys so much for the way that you volunteer, all the long hours and time that you put in to make everything that we do physically at the building, but as well as digitally happen. So many people don't get to see the full extent of the work that you do, but it truly is making a huge kingdom impact. So thank you for volunteering.
Hey Communications team, thank you so much for everything you do week in and week out with our church. You're making a difference not just on Sundays, but throughout the other 6 days of the week, which is really cool, and we are so grateful for all of the work that you do.
Hey prayer team, I am so thankful for how you serve faithfully in the boiler room, as well as those of you on the auditorium prayer team. You help fuel what we're doing here at Mission. You are so vital to our ministry. You serve people so well, and we are so grateful for what you do.
Hey Ops team, I don't know if I say this enough, but from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you guys again for all that you do here at Mission. Our team exists to love and serve the families of Mission like Jesus, and you do that so well. It's an honor and a privilege to do that alongside you. Just want to thank you again from my family to yours. I love you guys.
Well, hey, Happy New Year's. It is so great to see you. And yeah, with what everyone has been saying, I just want to pile on. Thank you. We started doing this 10 years ago when we thought about this Sunday within the calendar year. What could we do to give a gift back to all the volunteers of our church. And when we started this, there wasn't that many volunteers. Now there's over 550 of you that are part of the volunteer army. We've been saying now for a number of years, America runs on Duncan, but mission runs on volunteers. And so from the bottom of my heart and the hearts of our staff, our lead team, all of us at Mission, thank you so much for your investment. And what I want to do for a few minutes as we begin a brand new year, here we are, 2023, is I want to give you a little like New Year's Day Devo, little devotional. And in many ways, this will be like the primer, the beginning, the kind of intro of our new teaching series called Built to Last. This is the vision theme as we begin this new year of 2023, Built to Last. You're going to hear a lot about this in the coming weeks. But Built to Last is all around our 5-year vision, and we are expectant for what we believe God is going to do. There's a verse in the Gospels where Jesus looked at his disciples and he said, hey guys, the harvest is plentiful. And that was really good news, especially if you're into agricultural. You're like, oh, the harvest is plentiful? He's like, yeah, the harvest is plentiful. Then he says this, but the workers, the laborers, those that are going to step in, the volunteers, are few. And so to the few at Mission Church that are now 550, thank you. Thank you for stepping into the work of ministry. Thank you for stepping in to gathering differently. He said the workers are few. And when I think about that verse, and I think about Built to Last, and I think about you and I putting our work boots on and our hard hats on and us joining together to build what will be eternal, that being the church, there's a psalm that really speaks to what is in store for us. The psalm is Psalm 73. Some of you, as you begin a new year, every year, you're looking for a word or you're looking for a theme. And I think Psalm 73 can be the word that you're looking for. It says this in Psalm 73, though our heart and flesh may fail, our heart and flesh may fail. It doesn't say that it will fail. It says it could fail. It might fail. And if you've been volunteering, if you've been working in the church for any length of time as a key volunteer, you know that there are breathtaking moments and life-taking moments. There's moments that are like, man, this is harder than I anticipated. We just got done with our Christmas run, 4 services, but so many of you have been volunteering in so many different ways, and you would agree, like, it at times can be really hard. I'm thinking about our high school and middle school volunteers. We have Blast coming up here in a couple weeks, and I'm one of the volunteers for our high school ministry. Blast is our annual winter camp, and we take all these students away for the weekend. I want you to imagine here in a couple weeks, you spending the whole weekend with high schoolers and middle schoolers. You talk about heart and flesh failing. Thankfully, we will have a huge supply of energy drinks, but it's true. There will be moments in 2023 as you and I together gather differently, as we continue to give back our time. There's going to be moments where we feel as though our heart and flesh are giving out. It's just going to get weary. And I want to say in advance, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for being willing to become weary for the sake of others. Think about that. That's what volunteers do. Volunteers are willing to become weary for the sake of others. And there will be those moments. I hope there's not a lot of moments like that, but there will. There will be some of those moments where you and I will feel weary. But in advance, let me just say thank you for being willing to become weary for the sake of others. Psalm 73 says, yeah, our heart and flesh may fail. Then it says this, the second half of the verse you're going to love. But God is the strength of my heart. Strength of heart. This is the word. This is the phrase. For us, at least in the Peacock household, this is our phrase, strength of heart. It's been said before, there is nothing stronger than the heart of a volunteer. And I would agree. Strength of heart. Strength of heart. Say that with me. Strength of heart. Our heart and flesh may fail, but God is the strength of my heart. Strength of heart. There's all kinds of ways that we are pursuing more and more strength right now. It's the beginning of a new year. If you were to drive to Lifetime Fitness today, I can promise you the parking lot will be full today or this afternoon. Strength of heart. We are looking for strength in all kinds of different ways. We want stronger arms or stronger legs or stronger abs perhaps. But there is nothing more important than developing an interior strength. Exterior strength is important. I work on that all the time. But there's nothing more valuable, especially for volunteers, especially the workers responding to the harvest, than having an interior kind of strength, this strength of heart. I've seen a strength of heart in you in 2022, and I'm calling us to pursuing even a deeper and greater strength of heart for 2023. Strength of heart. What a phrase. How inspiring. Built to last as we join God and one another to build the next 5 years of the story of Mission Church, our 5-year vision. It will require a lot of things, but it will definitely require strength of heart. Strength of heart. In the coming days and weeks around Mission, we're going to talk to you about how you can pursue and build this strength of heart. We're going to talk a lot about our growth track and how you can circle up weekly during our 8-week run coming up here in February. That will be one of the ways you can build strength of heart. We're going to begin a Lent devotional like we did last year that will take us all the way to Easter. How you can give up things during Lent. That will be one of the ways you can build and develop a strength of heart. Starting tomorrow, though, is something that we've been working on for a number of weeks. And that is a reading plan, a Bible reading plan that Tommy has created for all of us at Mission. And this is one of the ways that you can develop and pursue strength of heart. In fact, right now, you can open up our church app. And I would encourage you to do that because there's a couple things for you specifically today. For our volunteers, we have in our church app a gift card. We want to buy your next cup of Starbucks. And so you can access that on our church app. This is for you, just us saying thank you for all your investment. So you can grab your Starbucks gift card through the church app that way. But also, if you look down there at the bottom, there's a little icon there that says Bible. And if you click on that, starting tomorrow, you can access our reading plan. We said a lot over 2022, 4 or more, meaning for us to engage in God's Word 4 or more times a week. And so over the past weeks and months, really, Tommy's been building and designing what this could look like for us, a Bible engagement plan. It's Mission's own. And we would encourage you to access this starting tomorrow. And together, as a church, this is everybody, let's pursue building this strength of heart. We're going to need strength of heart in the coming days, weeks, and months. We would encourage you to check that out starting tomorrow. Strength of heart. This is the phrase. This is what God is speaking to me these days, but God is the strength of my heart. Strength of heart will be required for what God has for you, for us as a church. I don't know what your volunteering might look like in 2023, but I want to share with you a closing story. This closing story is one of my favorite stories. I remember when I heard it first from Blake Williams, who leads our Connections team. And the story is of a guy by the name of Henry. He was in college at Georgetown University in the 20s. And you may not know this, but back in the 20s, Georgetown was a football powerhouse. They were, and Henry went there to play football. He was a freshman, and the coach said, Henry, you got to work hard, and perhaps you'll get some playing time as a freshman. Well, their 9-game season came and went that freshman year, and he never stepped on the game field. He was disappointed, but in the offseason, his coach said, hey, your sophomore year, work hard. You're going to get some playing time as a sophomore. And again, his sophomore year came and went. Henry didn't get any playing time as a sophomore. Junior year, coach said the same thing. Same exact thing happened. It came and went. Henry didn't step onto the game field as a junior as well. His senior year then was upon him. And they were ranked, and they were certainly having a great season. And it was coming down to the last game of the season. So they were beginning practice on that Monday. Henry hadn't stepped on the field yet. And he was just like determined that this was finally going to be the week where they were going to play. The game, though, the last game of the season was against their rival, Fordham. And so it was practice day, Monday, getting ready for their game week. And as practice was ending, the priest that worked there at Georgetown came onto the practice field to talk to the coach. At that moment, the coach waved Henry over, and the priest said, "Son, I need to talk with you. There's been an emergency at home." The priest went on to say that, "Son, your father has had a massive heart attack." And so Henry, just obviously overwhelmed by this news, was able to get back home. He got there just in time to say goodbye to his father. His father passes away on that Monday evening. It was at the end of the week, right around Thursday, where they had the wake and the funeral. And so many people from his team, they came to that wake and funeral, and person after person just said to Henry how much they loved him and cared for him. And they just thought for sure that Henry wasn't going to show up on that Saturday. Well, here's game day, and Henry shows up. He was able to get to that game, and he was determined to get on the field. Right before the game, the coach was shocked to see Henry, and the coach said, "Henry, again, I'm so sorry for the loss of your dad. Is there anything I can do for you?" Henry said back to the coach, "Yeah, you've been telling me for 4 years that I'm going to get to play. Start me today. Let me start today. Give me a shot." And the coach said, "All right, today's your day." Can you imagine this moment? So the game begins, and here's Henry. He runs out onto the field. He's in that offensive huddle. He played running back. The quarterback decided to call a running play, and sure enough, they hand the ball to Henry. The first play of the game, they give the ball to Henry, and he gets 10 yards. The coach is like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." They keep Henry in the game. They hand him the ball again. He gets 16 yards. True story. Henry stays in the game, plays the whole game. He ends up rushing for over 200 yards, scores 4 touchdowns. They win the game. They beat their rival, Fordham. They carry Henry on their shoulders off the field. It's unbelievable. People can't believe this. Incredible story. And after all the excitement and commotion, Henry makes his way back to his coach's office, and he sees his coach in the office with the coach's head in his hands. And Henry walks into the office and says, "Coach, are you okay?" And the coach lifts his head up and he's like, "Henry, I'm just overwhelmed by this." He's like, "Why didn't you show me months or years before that you had this ability?" He's like, "You never showed us this until today. Why?" And Henry said back to his coach, "Coach, you never met my dad, did you?" And the coach said, "No, son, I never had the pleasure of meeting your father." Henry said, "Well, Coach, if you would have met my father, you would have understood why I did what I did today." He said, "Coach, my dad was blind. And today was the opportunity for the first time in my life for me to show my dad just how I could run." That story, the first time I heard it, my heart just melted. To think about what happened in Henry's heart, knowing that his father was watching, it affected how he ran. And if I know anything about volunteers within a local church, I know this. There are moments where you will volunteer, you will use your gifts, you will give of your time, you will make a difference, and there will be people that see it, there will be people that notice. But most times, many moments, you will feel as though no one saw. And I want you to know, as we build something that we believe will last here at Mission, as we pursue a strength of heart, I want you to know that every minute, every second of investment, there is at least one that has seen it all, and it is your Father in heaven. What if together, at Mission, in these coming weeks and months, we were to run like Henry, knowing that our Father is watching, that we would run for His glory, that we would run with hearts full of passion, building something that will last. My hope and prayer is that you and I would experience a deepening of this strength of heart. Happy New Year's. We'll see you guys next Sunday as we continue Built to Last.